Hey guys, Philip Shadley here, and I'm doing my monthly real estate report here from Utah. Look at this. I'm at a beautiful ranch in Utah. My friend's ranch. I'm ranch sitting in Utah. Absolutely gorgeous here. I'll show you. By the way, this ranch is for rent next month for $7,850 a month, but I'm going to show you a little bit more later. But let's dive into the real estate report here. So I believe this far, it's fair to say that the real estate market had a soft settling or soft landing rather than a crash, right? The market is still plagued by historically low inventory. One could call it inventory crisis, actually. But let's look at some reports here. Well, this low inventory, what does that mean for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? If you're thinking about selling your house, that low inventory is why it is a great time to do so right now. Buyers have very few choices. Enriched with this knowledge, sellers slightly raise their prices above market value, trying to extract every penny out of their equity, which you can't blame them for, because if somebody wants to sell now, sellers are, if they sell, then they're in the same position as buyers are, facing a higher interest rate and high prices, not necessarily be able to sell their property and buy a larger property, but just historically what you would do. So they're just sitting back and waiting, right? Now let's look at some inventory here. This is by Altos Research, and this is single family homes only, and does not include townhouses or condominiums. And approximately, I think there's 83 million units, single family houses in existence in America. And out of those, 470,458 are on the market. This is very, very low in my opinion. And part of the reason is, again, interest rates are high, and sellers are just kind of waiting to sit back and wait till the rates drop. Unfortunately, the Feds are announcing, or had announced, that there's 2 more interest rate hikes coming by the end of the year, which in my opinion, I don't think it's the right way to go, but I'm not the expert here. I hope they know what they're doing. I think if the rates would come down to 5.5 or 5% even, it would stimulate the market. More sellers would come on the market, and also that would maybe lower the price a little bit, because now we have more inventory and the demand is still very high though. And we noticed that the demand is high because in California, for example, there is, Senator Atkins. I think her name was Atkins. She created this program called Dream for All. And the way it works is, for example, in Los Angeles County, if you make less than $180,000 a year, and you qualify for it, it has to be your primary residence and you have to be a first-time home buyer, the state gives you 20% down payment. And this program was very clever because I think it was a good program. It does have a little catch to it. You have to, when you sell, have to pay the 20% back, and you have to pay 20% of your own equity. So some people might say it's not a great idea. I think if that's the only vehicle to get into ownership, I think it's a good idea. But the program was launched March 1st, 2023, and ran out of funding 2 weeks later, March 15th. And that shows it as a high demand, a shadow buyer demand. They need help. Buyers need help to get into a property, but and if they've given that help, then they will move forward, and they did. 2,600 Californians became homeowners through that program in March. Let's look at some, let's go back to the report here. Mortgage rates continues to rise. Yes, that is pretty clear. We're over close to 7%. We're hovering around there. Home sales are down. This is because, again, there's not enough inventory. And home prices are actually rising in some areas. So, people have talked about crashes and decrease in prices. But to me, how could it be decrease in prices when the demand is so high and the inventory is so low? It's just like, to me, economics 101. Investors are also buying and gobbling up a lot of inventory, so they can just swoop up with cash. They have plenty of cash. They can swoop up homes, and that also depletes the inventory. And rent prices are rising. Let's look at this real quick here. So I understand how buyers want to get out of this situation here. Look at the median asking rent for units. Rent units. From 1997 till now, you can see the rent is just gone. It's pretty much continuously going up and up and up. And this is just the way it is. It's part of inflation. Everything gets more expensive. Let's look at this one here. So Realtor.com has had this article. Home sales fall in June as listings dwindle. The drop in sales fell short of what economists on Wall Street had expected. They forecast existing home sales to total 4.2 million in June. Compared to June 2022, home sales are down by 18.9%. So that's huge. That's a big drop. Key details: the median price for an existing home in June was $410,200, which is the second highest price that the NAR, National Association of Realtors, has recorded since it began tracking the data in 1999. Home prices peaked in June last year when the median price of resale home hit $413,800. The number of homes on the market remained flat in June at 1.08 million units. Now, total properties in America, don't quote me on this, but it's somewhere around 120 million units. This is including single-family homes, condominiums, townhouses. So having only 1.08 million units on the market, as you can see here, is very low inventory. And out of that number, 960,000 single-family homes are on the market. So it's just, the inventory is just really plaguing the industry. That is the lowest level for the month of June since NAR began tracking the data in 1982. It's really something. We're in a very strange environment in regards to real estate. Here, this gives you another example, the median sales price of houses sold in the United States. This gives you another example, in my opinion, how, just look at the data of 1965 over here, all the way to current. This is the median home price, but it also kind of reflects the real estate market in general. So if you invested long term, I think real estate is still the best way to create generational wealth. It's a great vehicle and somewhat recession proof. And if you look at the line, it just continually goes up. It has little dips here and there, but continuously keeps going up. Anyway, so let's go back to the report. I think we covered pretty much everything. All this data is comprised of the National Association of Realtors, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and Freddie Mac, and Realtor.com. And let me just show you really quick the ranch here that is for rent. So it's an absolutely gorgeous property. As you can see, here's the dog, Whiskey. So it has 2-3 bedrooms downstairs, bedroom up here, and bathroom. And over on this side, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. And let's have a look over here. This is where the chicken coop is, right over there. Straight ahead is a chicken coop, and over there the horses. And this place really is a piece of heaven. It's just so quiet and peaceful. So if you have any questions about any real estate related questions, please call me at 310-918-2260. And otherwise, also if you have questions about this particular property, it's for rent again for $7,850 a month. And kitchen is a little bit of a mess, but it is just wherever you look, you have spectacular views. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.